move. But here's that key. You build a forge, and he immediately starts upgrades. What's the purpose of building a forge if you're not going to use it? So what's good about getting expands like this and be able to defend yourself with forge and cannons, and you can, it plays along with this idea of getting ahead in your upgrades. Because upgrades in the end is what actually, there's a battle at the end of this match that I think that his upgrades helps at least give him an even trade. And at the end we're going to see that the even trade comes to his advantage. Because he's so far ahead economically. If you go into production, we got Twilight Council going down. Which indicates, again, he's going to go for DTs to deny any sort of economic expansions from these Zerg player. We're going to see Spore Crawl at the base. I think this is just... I really think it's just not a reaction to what he sees, but just a natural thing to do for most bad Zerg players is that you could get DTs. I better build at least one Spore Crawler in each base, which is fine. So, okay, this Dark Shrine we see is now going down right now. It's 12 minutes. It's a little late, but it's fine. And I like this position. I really like the position of this Dark Shrine right here. It's in center. It can you can stop from these Overlord from scouting. You have an Overlord here, but from his point of view, he could be anywhere. He could be right here on this edge, so you can see this. You can get a couple Stalkers and kill it, and he's not going to see this tech. From this direction, we have an Overlord over here, which I think could be positioned better right here. Try to scout. He'll be able to see the Twilight, but I think with enough time he will not be able to give up the Dark Shrine information, so that's good. Hide your tech is another key thing to do. And I missed this in the last game, and I wondered when it was. But Zess is going to put a sneaky pylon right here, which I think is a very, very... I love that spot. And remember this, because this is going to come into factor later in the game. And I think it's funny, too, he brings this whole army, I think, just to, like, either keep this guy pushed back, or to defend this probe. So you're a sneaky little guy. So we're going to see Infestation Pit again coming from this Zerg player, but this time we're actually going to see Infestors on the field. So I would actually rank this Zerg player's play a little bit better. And I'm getting a text from Twitter. Oh, it's like Aria was texting me. Okay. So, as soon as the Dark Shrine's finished, we see 5 DT goes down, 2 morph into Archons, which is different from last game in the fact that he made, I think, about 7 Dark Templars and took all of them immediately into the base. I'm not quite sure why he didn't do this here. Archons are definitely good. I think the whole point of Zess's DT, early DT, expanded DT is to get Dark Templars, kill something, and then you can morph them into Archons for the choice. So I honestly have no idea what he's doing with this. I'll have to ask him later. That's fine. And honestly, right now, I really think he should be taking his Dark Templar and moving this into position. But instead, what he does, I think, is their defensive Dark Templar, and my frame rate just went to shit. Holy shit. There we go. Okay. So we're going to see, yep, there we go. 3 DTs. I think the reaction on these is late. Like, he doesn't move them out as soon as he can. I think it's okay. There is this Overseer here, and they will die. And see, the reason why Infestors are good against DTs is that if you catch their silhouette, you can fungal them, and they become visible then. So, I don't know if you guys know that. I'm pretty sure most players do, but just in case, we have some bronzies. And okay, so this is good. So we're going to see a third going down for Zez. We're going to see here that Razor's almost mined down his first base, and so is Zez. So he's getting his third down. And we're going to see here is that this is, I think, the key to this victory. These DTs and what they're going to do, they're going to be able to deny Razor's third while he's putting his own up, which allows him to stay ahead economically and be able to support. And something I forgot to mention, he does go Ultralisk here. I think Zez does see this. I don't remember if he does or not at this point, but he starts making Immortals, so I'm assuming he does. And we're going to see a push come out from Razor, and we're going to see, again, Zez barely defending it off. I think that's why he labeled it awesome ZVP or PvZ. So these DTs come in. I mean, they try to get this expansion, but you see they're just short. 154 health. One more DT might have been able to kill that, which is this one we left behind, which I think in general is a good idea to leave it behind, which means that anytime a Zerg tries to expand, you're going to cut them off. And let's check out this engagement. A little bit late with the reaction time here, as he could have put force fields up here. But he has a lot of zealots, which means you can be able to kill all these Zerglings pretty fast. You see some good fungals, and this lone DT wreaking havoc on these infestors. This Overseer does see that. These Ultralists are just going to maul everything. But we see Stalkers coming up. I'm going to be able to pick one off. So Moral gets 5 kills. This is going to die soon. And we're going to see no energy left in this infestor, so you're not seeing any fungals. That's really nice. But at this point, you're thinking this looks dire, and actually produces queens. I'm sorry, that's just funny. Again, this looks dire. This looks like we're barely making it. And I think this Warpin could have been. Oh, they're all zealots. That's fine. Be able to kill these lings up, and then maybe go after these roaches and queens. Got 2 more Ultralisk up. And I think at this point, I remember going back upgrades. Run 1-1-1 right now. Opponents at 1-1-1. We're barely defending this off. At the same time, we have extra minerals and gas. I'd actually like to see one DT being thrown down and attacking this base right now. But I guess it's okay because you're trying to just like survive. It's like it doesn't really matter if you can kill his base off if you don't live this attack. So I think it's pretty good. Like I said, we barely survived this, and this last Warpin is going to be able to clean us up. And we got this one DT going hero on these Ultralisks who's just mauling probes for breakfast. And these Zealots can have to clean this up. And we lose a lot of probes here, but that's fine. We're gonna see this Dark Templar just sitting here. Funny enough, nothing doesn't choose to attack the third. I think this is what keeps Zez alive here, is that even though he lost a lot of probes here, a lot of income off his base, he's able to still maintain this income. And I mean, looking at the income tab, it's slightly even, with the advantage of gas going to Zerg and minerals to Protoss. Get the worker count ahead. And at this point, Zerg's mining up one base. And he's actually almost mined out in the second base. So this is bad. This is bad for Zerg. And what we're going to see from Zerg here is that he's going to try to double expand here, but he's never going to see this pylon. He's never going to see this pylon. And what Zez can do with this pylon is that he can constantly warp in 1 or 2 DTs and go back and forth. And we're going to see him kill this expansion twice, if I'm not mistaken. And he's going to be able to kill this expansion, I think, once. And harass it and kill a lot of drones, but not kill the expansion another time. I'm sorry, not this one, not this one. He's going to go for these 2. So, damn it, now I forget which order he kills them. But anyway, so that's basically key. Well, he's able to get expansion up. And we see both players, and he's actually down in food, both players are low on money at the time. They're just trying to rebuild their army, even though his income is a little bit better. He's not going to be able to do too much at home. Instead of building a memorial for Ultras. And I think what Zerg should be doing here is, normally, what a Zerg should be doing here is attacking behind this. Because if you can get these 2 bases up, and you can kill a lot of crap, you're getting yourself ahead. The size of the army is questionable, so maybe he's just a little hesitant, and he's a little, scared. But we're going to see, even if that's not the case, even if he's not scared to attack, what's going to help Zest win this game is that he's going to, as we see here, this is why I thought it was this base, because he moved it. He's going to kill his expansion once, and it's just going to force him to stay home. And allow Zest to rebuild his army back at home. And we're going to see him try to kill this base for the first time. Kill both bases. This is going to be rebuilt. And he pulls this Dark Templar and puts it on the hole, which I think is a good idea. Let's see, this base is not going to die. But he's going to get a lot of worker kills. We didn't see this. I didn't show you this, but he's going to get a lot of worker kills here. And then you're going to see this get denied twice. I said twice, yep. A couple worker kills. And that's how he stays ahead. I mean, personally, at this point in the game, he can see his army. He can see the enemy's army. He knows where it is. He can definitely take map control, these DTs. He should be expanding behind this. I would love to see him putting up a third right now, if not about a minute ago. Because I personally think he's got a decent enough army to defend any sort of attack. And I think in response to an attack, that's when he should be putting down more DTs and attacking his expansions. And attacking these really lazy workers here. So if you're listening to this, which I know you are, that's my little suggestion to you. So when you're doing crap like this, and you can have vision of his army. If he's pulling his whole army to just take out your DTs, which you can see right here, that's when you should be expanding behind this. You made more stuff. You had the minerals at home for it. And he's gonna kill his pylon, but it's way too late for it. I think he should have been focusing this down to kill it, but instead this probe here has been seen the whole day. Okay, so Zess is telling me that he didn't feel uncomfortable and he had lings and that expo is so far away. I can kind of agree with you, except I would, and then instead take one of these bases. Yeah, I'd take this base and then wall off the small ramp with cannons. Which I think takes only two buildings and pylon. So, and I think at this point, open production tab, you need more gateways, or you're gonna put down a bunch more gateways on here anyway. So, whatever. You know, sometimes in the middle of the game, sometimes you're just feeling pressured and you just want to do it, but you can't. And you can't really think straight. So, nothing against you. But again, as I see here, we're going to see constantly about 300 to 400 minerals just sitting here throughout the rest of this game. So this is what I mean. That's what I mean by wanting to expand. So, because you have the army advantage right now, even though he does have a lot of lanes to run by. I'm looking at Zerg's vision right now. I'm looking at his stuff. As you keep pressuring with these DTs, even if he gets spore crawlers up, I mean, it forces him to stay home. Chooses him to either stay home or go for your main base. He's not going to be looking for your other bases, I don't think, at this level. I could be wrong. So we see this another forward pylon, and what's nice about this, I looked at this and I thought of something that you could have changed. You definitely came in here with these 6 zealots, put a lot of pressure in here. We see this extra spine crawlers going down, and you're going to see that you're going to take this down. But you're going to see this whole army get pulled. In response, somewhere you make DTs. Where are they? Where are they? Maybe you did, and that's what I noted. What you should have done, I think, is instead of the stalkers that you just built, was built a couple, like 3 or 4 DTs, and go attack this. Because you saw him pull his whole army. Wow, this is very bad. I'm actually talking to Zess right now, informally. I shouldn't do this. Alright, I mean, so we still see, this whole time, he's got this whole advantage. Even without taking the other base, he's been able to prevent these bases from getting saturated and up this whole time. Limiting his Zerg to only basically one base mining right now, as this is now mined out, and that main's been mined out for quite a while. This one's almost mined out for Zez, so he basically has 2.5 bases being mined, and it's gonna he's talking right now, and they're the slowest. Thanks, let me do my job, Zez. God. All right. I think this is kind of funny here. So Zess, I don't know if he A-moved, but he was going to go for this base. Whenever you get a couple, 3 or 4 DTs right into the middle of a huge army that has detection, it's so easy to just hit A-move and see what you can kill. But as far as the money exchange today, I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth the exchange, because DTs are quite expensive. even if you're capped and you do have a lot of resources,